today's video is going to be about a potential new season pass that can be implemented into future Call of Duties. I will also be going through a little bit about the next building map, some perks, some potential wonder weapons, Easter egg storyline, and some Outbreak stuff, so definitely keep in tune. It's going to be a great video. Let's get right into it. So for the first story for today, it's going to be quite a weird one. On the Twitter page BTKOR, there's been a recent discovery as a season pass has been on the PlayStation Store. I don't know why it's there, but it seems to be $57 and it does seem pretty legit, and it could be fake, however it doesn't look so. It seems to be, instead of using the old DLC formula, it's going to be using a battle pass thing. So if you buy the season pass, you will get all the battle passes in the game for free. So for example, if you buy the season pass, you will get every single battle pass that eventually releases for free, which seems to be around 6 at the moment. However, in future content there could be more. Now the price of around $60 does seem a little bit excessive. However, if you were to buy the battle passes individually, it does seem that this season pass does seem to be cheaper in the long term. So please leave your thoughts down below on what you think of this. I kind of see it as a beneficial thing, as you are saving money in the long term if you were to buy the season pass. However, some people may have different tastes, so please leave your comments down below and I'd love to see what you guys think of it. The next thing I will be going through is that as of right now, Track have added a new pistol called the AMP-63. If you guys are looking for a very fast firing pistol, then this pistol is definitely a gun to grind out. For some reason, to get the pistol, it is way easier in zombies to grind it out than if you were to play multiplayer. In multiplayer, you have to kill 5 enemies in 20 different matches. However, in zombies, you only have to get 400 critical kills. So in turn, that means in multiplayer, you would have to spend around an hour or two to grind it out. However, in zombies, this could take you around 15 to 20 minutes. So if you guys are going to grind out this pistol, then I would highly suggest that you grind it out on zombies instead of multiplayer. If you guys are busy this week, then don't worry. On June the 4th, there will be a double XP weekend ranging until the 7th of June. So with that out of the way, let's go through some zombie stuff. So at the moment, there is around 16 days left until the battle pass ends. This puts the release for season 4 at around mid-June. For me, I would say that the release for the Berlin map will probably be around mid-season 4. The reason I believe this is that the Outbreak main quest is divided into 2 parts, and the second part is not released as of yet. So storyline-wise, the Outbreak main quest 2 takes place prior to the Berlin maps. So in my mind, that makes it undoubtedly clear that the Berlin map will be released after the Outbreak main quest part 2. Depending on how long Track wait, this Berlin map can be either released 2 weeks after or maybe 3 if they stick to their reloaded schedule. So that puts the release of the Berlin map at around early July. So at the moment, that means that the Outbreak main quest part 2 is released when season 4 releases, and the Berlin map is potentially released a little bit later, maybe a week or 2 after. We do know that the Berlin map is going to be releasing in season 4, so depending on when they do it, it will be releasing, so that shouldn't be an issue. But it's kind of sad that players that play round-based modes have had to wait around 5 to 6 months for another round-based map. The last round-based map was released on the 4th of Feb, which was 5AC, and that is around 118 days ago. If you look at it, that is nearly half a year since players have been able to play a fresh round-based map. But I do get how Outbreak is meant to be considered as DLC 2, as Drake have stated that DLC 2 was Outbreak. If Drake have had 5 months to prepare this map, then I hope that this map is going to be an absolute banger. But don't get me wrong, I do know that in between 5AC and the Berlin map, there's been a bunch of content, and I do know that Drake are working extremely hard, and I'm extremely grateful for that. So definitely, I'm not saying that Drake are releasing not enough content, but as a COD Zombies fan myself, I do hope in future we see more round-based maps, because that's where Call of Duty Zombies is at its core, a round-based mode. Also, if you guys haven't done the main quest part 1 for Outbreak yet, definitely go ahead and do it. It is extremely fun if you do it with mates, and honestly, the boss fight is one of the best boss fights we have received yet in Zombies, so definitely check out the Outbreak main quest part 1, it is an absolute blast. Anyhow, moving on, the wonder weapon for the main quest part 2 seems to be a weapon that has all of the zombie boss's abilities in one. The reason we know this is that in game there is a visual bug that makes it so your weapon starts to shoot out random boss zombie attacks. For example, you may shoot the Mangler's Blast, or you may shoot the Megaton's Toxic Attack. And by the way, you may not have known, but the Mimic actually has a special attack. In Firebase, if you are in a spot where the Mimic can't actually hit you, it will then shoot a blue orb from its mouth which can damage you. The good news is that this weapon should be in the Outbreak main quest part 2. The reason for this is that some in-game intel does suggest that some scientists will be involved in some sort of capacity. Maxis does state to Ravenov here that the scientist quarters team reviews Dark Aether has intelligence here. And my best guess is that these scientists are the ones that are responsible for actually developing this wonder weapon. The fact that Ravenov's symbol is on this note does suggest that we could be seeing that these scientists have a more important role in the upcoming Easter egg. My best guess is that potentially we could be saving these scientists, and hopefully these scientists have a prototype of the wonder weapon, which could mean we could actually be having this wonder weapon in the Outbreak main quest part 2. Which, if that's the case, then that would be awesome. Now, moving on here, a man named Zykov has just revealed himself as the person that was sending Requiem information back at Project Endstation at Outpost 25. This person was shown on the Dimashina teaser, and here you can see that he enters the particle accelerator room. From here, he was trapped inside and presumed dead. However, this has changed, as in the last few months, he has identified himself to Requiem Strike Team as the individual communicating through the Dark Aether computer device. That means that Zykov has been locked in the Dark Aether for 40 years. That means his knowledge of the Dark Aether is probably pretty extensive, meaning he may know more than Dr. Grey and all the doctors combined. Furthermore, before this moment, we actually knew Zykov as the stranger back in Season 1 intel. As good as it is for Requiem for having someone that has literally lived in the Dark Aether for more than half of their life, however, Requiem still has concerns for what Zykov's ambitions are, and they are very concerned on what he's trying to do. Weaver has said that he recommends his team to continue communications with Zykov, but to exercise caution and report all contacts. The piece of intel then goes on to show the team's distrust of Zykov. Although the team don't 100% trust Zykov, they still state that they should definitely check out what he's got to offer. They then go on to say that if Zykov gives them information, the amount of knowledge that they could attain of the Dark Aether could be really game-changing. However, Zykov has documented a potential outbreak in New York. Now, I do know that this next part may sound a little bit far-fetched, but if you do go to the Season 3 progression, you can see that there is a boss zombie in a city landscape. Now, all I'm saying is that this calling card after that piece of intel does look like it actually can happen. Obviously, take this information with a grain of salt, but all I'm saying is that Treyarch have intended this intel to be in the game. Now that I've gone through the Outbreak portion of the video, I would like to go into the Berlin information. Now, at the moment, the storyline building up to the eventual DLC 3 Berlin map is that a person named Alexandra Valentina is opening up a Dark Aether portal in Berlin. It is unclear why she's doing so, but as a person that is working for Omega, this seems a little bit suspicious. However, further intel does suggest that she's under the influence of the One. Now, we don't know much of the One, but apparently it is an entity that apparently could be Dr. Monty and the Shadow Man combined. Now, we know at a young age, Valentina was influenced by the One to do very bad things. If Valentina successfully opens up the Dark Aether Rift, then this will cause an outbreak in Berlin. And we do know from prior calling cards that this will revive a bunch of Germans that haven't seen a light of day since World War II. So that is basically where the story is so far. We are trying to stop Valentina from spreading a Dark Aether Rift in Berlin. However, knowing Treyarch, I think there is a deeper meaning of what's going on here, but we don't understand yet, and hopefully in future we can understand what's actually going on in Berlin. The reason I say this is that in Dimashina we had a clear goal. We had to go to Project Endstation and shut it down, and for 5AC we had to go ahead and save Maxis. However, for this Berlin map we don't yet understand what we are actually doing. However, I think this will change in the upcoming weeks when we eventually get a trailer, but at the moment we don't know what's actually going on in Berlin. Now, on the topic of Berlin, let's go through what can potentially be the new perk. Now, there has been rumors and leaks that the new perk will be double tap, and I totally agree with them. If you did not know, Treyarch have actually recently buffed high rounds. Zombies' health have gone up around 4 times since launch. I think this update was to prepare for the double tap that was eventually coming in Berlin. What Double Tap 1.0 does is that instead of doing double the damage, which is what Double Tap 2.0 does, it instead makes your gun shoot double as fast. Knowing Treyarch, I think this is what they're going to go for the future of Cold War. But that doesn't mean that won't be Double Tap's only ability. If you did not know, in Cold War there is a skill tree, and at the moment each perk has 5 tiers. So that means that there is a potential chance that Double Tap will come back with a few new abilities we're not familiar with, which for me makes me really excited for the future of Double Tap. So I can't wait to see how Double Tap has changed since its last appearance in Black Ops 3. I would say that the future of Cold War does look like it's going to be pretty bright, but at the moment I guess it's kind of just like a waiting game until Season 4 actually does release. Anyways, that is it for today's video. If you guys are brand new here and if you did enjoy the content, then please do consider liking the video. It helps spread the video out to more viewers, and it does tell me you guys like this content, and I'm happy to make more. It is very fun to make. Anyways, till next time, goodbye.